In a small, peaceful town nestled in a quiet corner of the city, lived a family with a 12-year-old boy named Alex. Alex was an energetic kid who absolutely adored playing outdoors, and his favorite activity in the world was playing soccer. Almost every day, Alex would head to the nearby public field, where he tirelessly practiced his skills, honing them with passion. One afternoon, after returning home from school, Alex slumped onto the couch, a deep, thoughtful frown on his face. That afternoon, after school, he enthusiastically invited Liam to join him for a soccer game at the nearby field. As usual, Alex, who played soccer almost every single day, completely dominated the match. He skillfully scored 3 goals, leading his team to a big, triumphant victory. Meanwhile, Liam, who wasn't very familiar with soccer at all, visibly struggled. He often lost the ball and made several mistakes. Despite this, everyone who played that day had an undeniably great time. Afterward, Alex cleaned up and hurried to meet his father in the backyard. He opened a school book, stared at it for a moment, then leaned back into the soft cushions with a clear look of disappointment. His father smiled knowingly and said, "Tell me how the game went." Alex described everything, from his 3 impressive goals to how Liam wasn't very good at soccer. His father nodded and said, "Look at this, Alex. Liam may not be great at soccer, but he's excellent at math. Just like how you might struggle with math but truly excel at soccer, we are all different, and that's perfectly okay. We each have our own unique strengths and passions." Alex felt a wave of profound understanding wash over him. He realized that people are indeed different and don't have to be the same. But curious as always, he immediately asked about the second lesson. His father, who had just come in from the backyard, immediately noticed this unusual behavior and walked over to his son. Sitting beside Alex, he gently asked what was bothering him. Alex explained that he had received a poor grade in math, but that wasn't what was truly upsetting him. "These are lessons that will guide you as you grow older." Alex, who deeply respected his father, was a bit confused but undeniably intrigued. "Can you explain those lessons, Dad?" he asked eagerly. "You will learn each lesson one by one through a challenge I will give you," his father replied with a gentle, knowing smile. After a brief pause, his father continued, "For the first lesson, I want you to invite Liam to play soccer with you tomorrow." Alex nodded, eager to find out what insightful lesson his father had in mind. He shared that his close friend and neighbor Liam always seemed to score incredibly high in math. No matter how hard Alex himself tried, he just couldn't seem to do as well. Hearing this, Alex's father went to get a glass of water, aiming to calm his son's distress. Once Alex had relaxed a bit, his father took him outside to their small backyard garden, which was filled with shady trees and had a wonderfully peaceful atmosphere. "Alex," his father began, his voice soft and thoughtful, "I want you to understand 3 incredibly important lessons from what happened today." The next morning, the weather was bright and welcoming, and Alex went to school with his usual excitement. "Dad, I played soccer with Liam today. What's the first lesson you want to teach me?" "For the second lesson," his father said, "I want you to pay very close attention to Liam tomorrow at school. Keep meticulous track of how often you see him counting or working with numbers." The following day, Alex eagerly went to school, genuinely excited to complete his father's new challenge. Throughout the day, he quietly observed Liam, noticing how frequently he was engaged in math-related tasks. If you want to be truly smart and become an expert at something, either study what you genuinely love or diligently learn to love what you're studying. Alex, filled with immense admiration for his father's deep wisdom, promised to carry these 3 incredibly important lessons with him for the rest of his life. Moral: if you want to excel in something, either love what you do or find genuine joy in learning it. Everyone has their own unique strengths, and consistent practice always makes significant progress. After school, Alex spent time playing soccer again, as was his routine, and continued until his father returned home that evening. Alex approached his father and enthusiastically reported his findings. "Dad, Liam was counting a lot today. He was working on math problems, solving puzzles, even calculating things like change during recess." Alex paused for a second, then hesitantly replied, "I think Liam is about 3 times better at math than I am." "All right," his father said. "For the last challenge, I want you to study math 3 times harder tomorrow." Alex swallowed nervously, a lump forming in his throat, but he nodded, determined to tackle the final challenge head-on. The next day, after school, Alex sat down to study math. After an hour of intense, focused work, he decided to push through and study for 2 more hours, tripling his usual effort. But before he could finish, his head started to throb intensely, and without realizing it, he fell fast asleep. Later, he was gently woken up by his father's soft tap. "Wake up for dinner and meet me in the garden afterward," his father said. Feeling deeply disappointed in himself, Alex met his father, his head hung low in shame. "I'm sorry, Dad," Alex said, his voice quiet. "I couldn't complete the challenge. I studied so much that my head hurt and I ended up falling asleep." His father gently patted Alex's head and said, "Alex, this is exactly what happens when you try to master something you don't genuinely enjoy. It's incredibly hard to stay disciplined and consistent. But when you study something you truly love, discipline and consistency feel much lighter, much more natural, just like how you stay dedicated to playing soccer." And he even counted the petals on a flower. His father smiled warmly and said, "That's the second lesson, Alex. Liam is good at math because he truly enjoys it and practices it very often. If you want to get better at something, you absolutely have to keep practicing, just like you diligently do with soccer. It doesn't always have to be difficult. You can start with simple things like counting petals on a flower." Alex smiled, realizing that he could indeed improve in anything, as long as he practiced consistently, just like he had with soccer. Without waiting, Alex eagerly asked about the third and final lesson. His father thought for a moment and said, "For the last lesson, I want you to think carefully about how much better Liam is at math compared to you." After a brief, meaningful silence, his father gave him the final piece of profound advice. "So,